And we're back, and you are listening to Villaincast, BJJ Anti-Heroes, with myself, Chris, the Villain Pains, and Naki, our Jefe, our Shed. And welcome to Reap the Week. Firstly, a thank you to our sponsors, the lovely patrons on Patreon. Thank you for believing in this work, and if you'd like to learn more about supporting this channel, along with receiving exclusive content such as the new episodes of How to Defend Everything 3.0, along with personal coaching, you can find out more via chrispainsbjj.com. It's been a couple of weeks, Naki. You left me to just talk to other people.
I thought people might be getting bored listening to us all over again, and it might help us get a bigger audience, getting different people.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Talking to other guests and hearing their opinion, but nothing compares to you.
That's sweet. I like that.
So, yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks. Speaking to people who have been listening to this podcast, or one of the things that's kind of come out of it is, even for me, it's changing coaching, just talking to all these fantastic people. Like, you know, especially on pre-shows or right after the show, just during the show, just listening to their ideas. Good God, like it feels like such a growth right now in coaching ability. I liken it to, you know, when you're going through like this first belts in jiu-jitsu and all that knowledge is just kind of soaking in. You're like, oh shit, like, you know, that, and you just get so much better, so much quicker. What a fantastic couple of coaches we've had on recently to cause this explosion in pedagogy and teaching and everything alongside it. Have you listened to many of them? You're going to turn around and say no.
No, I've listened to bits. I've listened to bits. But what I would say is, and after speaking to you as well, is the message is kind of very similar to the way you guys approach this now, which is a good thing, really, because obviously you all thinking outside the box, like they say.
Thinking outside the box, but also, I think it Rob Bernacki saying that the best product isn't always the one that floats to the top. It's the best marketed, essentially. And unfortunately, the mainstream model floated to the top. It's a martial arts model, a curriculum of a martial art model, not a sports model, which that's what's separating these people out. And when you see their relationship to other sports, it makes sense. And I think Soda said it really well when he talked about Danaher, that it's easy to, you know, have a problem and fear change like this, but you can't fear failure. And it's exactly, I think, mentioning about if you're allowed, like, so, you know, what were you when I got my black belt? You were a purple belt? Yes, because I gave you a brown belt whilst I was a black belt.
Yeah.
So in the time you've gone from purple belt to black belt, am I allowed to grow as well, even though I'm at black belt? Is my coaching ability allowed to grow in that same amount of time? I think that's exactly. And
of
so,
course. Why not?
But that takes failure, and we fail when we roll. We fail when we try new techniques, and we go back to the drawing board. And it's okay to fail the same coaching. Like, you can't just expect to be perfect. You're allowed to fuck up, as long as you can kind of. It's harder because obviously you're dealing with other people and trying to make them better, but you still have to go, right, did that work, yes or no? And if it didn't, well, adjust. Same as in regular jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think I noticed it with you as I was coming through, and then I noticed it with myself that, see, we have to start upping our games as well, because they catch you up so fast. It's like, we got to put the work in, or else, you know, it's not going to be as easy.
I think
got to put the work in.
That's the case. Like, anyway, like, you should hope that your students get. You know, you don't want your students to take as long as you did to get to where you are. You want them to get there in exceedingly faster time frames. I think it took me 10 years to get to black. It took you 7.5. So we've got it faster. Let's see if we can break that down and get people good and up to those kind of levels quicker. And I think while there's a couple of topics, obviously. Thank you to the Discord channel. Shout out to you, folks, for hopping in and giving your suggestions for this week. I know we haven't started to cover those questions yet. But I think one of the things I want to first talk about is this Toxicity of Belts. That dude, I started at the beginning. This is for BJJ anti-heroes. This is like saying the shit that may not go down too well. So yeah, belts, man. I think they are a toxic force in the gym. Rob, again, that bit. If anyone hasn't listened to Rob Biernacki podcast from a few weeks ago, please go find it. It is awesome. And yeah, it's I think it's an important point to make of for most people, even if they do compete, competition is still in the gym. That you compete in the gym, and it's like there's a league table, and every time you go in the gym, you're trying to keep your place in the league table. You look at, right, who's below me, who's ahead of me. I need to jump up the league table if I'm going to get my next belt, and I can't let anyone below me on the league table get me, because that's going to look bad on me. I'm not going to get promoted. And it, as much as we all say, oh yeah, I'm going to go support my team. What's it, a competition, like, fuck yeah for my team. But then second you get in the gym, like, fuck you all. Like, I'm staying where I am. I'm going to go up the league table. No way I'm coming down it. And like, the amount of comments and threads you'll see on Facebook or on different forums, like, oh yeah, this such and such belt fucks me up, and I'm like, exactly, it's just competition all the time, and that must be so hard to break through. It's just
micro adjustments,
adjusting yourself on the table.
That was the last famous one.
And yeah, it's like it's so detrimental, I think. I mean, okay, yeah, I get it as a pushing yourself to try and climb that league table.
I agree.
But it's the stress from it on a day-to-day basis. Instead of this idea that we're currently trying to push, I'm excited to see it's working well. I think that abandon those ideas. Again, the coach creates the environment, and we are only as good as the team around us. And it hasn't come out yet. These are not coming out in order, just because I'm keeping some, tucked away for whilst I'm away in Europe. But I spoke to Josh McKinney, the Icicle JiuJitsu man himself, and they say he's in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, Granite City, Illinois, and dude, how he's made such a powerful team. Like, he beat AJ at the Nashville Open, but he's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, he's only as good as the team that he can train with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I honestly believe that it doesn't matter. You can be champion anywhere. It doesn't matter. If you have a good team around you, you can get there. I honestly believe that you don't need to X, Y, or Z. I honestly believe you can do it.
But how do you then create those teams? That's the interesting point. It's like, do you create a team of people who are out for themselves? Yes, there has to be good coaching. But you have a group of people who are just out for themselves, or everyone just goes, we're only as good as all of us around us. And I think the analogy I've been using a few times 100%. Is this: if I was playing football with my lad, who's 9, I use it in the gym quite a lot. If I just, dude, I have to keep. I want to kind of reiterate that and create that kind of structure. If I can kick the fucking ball over his head, and he's not going to save it, dude.
Next time you see in class, I'm going to do a dive.
Yeah, you should do the right thing. Do the right thing in sparring. Don't just think, oh, this Because people have asked, like, oh, you know, do you do this against your brand new people? I'm like, yeah, of course I fucking do it against the brand new people. I'll do the right thing by them. I'm not going to go balls to the wall and try and kill them. But I'm going to make them work. Same as, I'm not going to blast the ball through my lad's body, like, 9 years old, and destroy him. Same as I'm not just going to kick it over his head or kick it wide. I'm going to kick it at the goal. Sometimes it may go in, sometimes it may not. But he means he's getting practice. And one day he's going to catch up. He's going to be saving them, and I'm going to have to try harder. And you can feel that right now, that kind of pushing of that narrative of, no, we all get better because it's going to make all our lives harder, and we have to get better for it. Instead of just keeping each other down. Like, fuck, man, how many times have we heard, oh, that's awesome technique, just don't tell anyone for a few weeks so I can go play with it. What? Like, why? You're supposed to be helping each other.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, exactly. We're all excited and we want to make everyone better. But that should be the case all the time. So like, oh, I need some shit to go deal with this asshole. And yeah, and it keeps people down, because then you've got people who just, like, when they're better than someone else, they'll just go flatten all those people below them, like, fuck them, they can't jump me. I don't know, I think one of the things that kind of did that you hit this, like, zen moment, is getting the black belt. Because I stopped giving a shit. The second I got it, I was like, I don't care who submits me. A fucking white belt submit me. I've won the championship. What the fuck do I care if you catch me now? I've proven it. But it's easy saying that when you're at the top of the mountain, isn't it? Which I imagine you feel the same. I know it feels weird having blue belts, like, run you around. But still, like, I mean, so I went to the Ryan Hall seminar on Sunday. Awesome. Like, again, Ryan's just one of those OG concept guys, and he's such a smart fucker. And he talked about, he was on the sensationalization of in the UFC, of the media, of, like, this man's got, this amazing, or woman has got this amazing stopping power in their fists, and it's like, yeah, like, they've all have. Like, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is. If anyone in the UFC hits me in the face, I'm going down. I don't want them to hit me in the fucking face. But what separates us is my ability to not get hit and hit you back. Like, I don't give a shit how hard you hit. I don't want to get hit in the face because I may go down. Same as in jiu-jitsu. A 10-year-old could wrap their arms around my neck in the right place, and I'm going to go sleepy bye-byes. But it's my ability to stop you getting there, which matters more. So building up that kind of correct defense and framing that as well, like, you're only going to be as good as your defense. Everyone can attack. You could be 10 years old, but if you can make yourself immortal, unable to be beaten, that you can choose what you want then. But that's hard. And again, like, he's got great analogies. Like, if you ever get a chance to go to Ryan's seminar, it's amazing. Like, we obviously went to his gym in Falls Church, but the analogy, I forgot how weird his analogies are. Like, he'll start going, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is he going with this?" And he said he said the question, "Who robs liquor stores?" And we're all like, I don't know, like, violent people? Like, what fucking, I don't know where this is going. It's like, no, desperate people. Like, they'll take high risk for very low reward, because you're probably only going to get money for like 3 or 4 days. And you probably have to do it again. But they'll take these insane risks because they're desperate. Same shit in jiu-jitsu. If you're off balance or you're being, like, battered, you're just going to, like, try and rob liquor stores.
Yeah.
You're going to pull those fucking guns out. And that's kind of the job there. It's like, I want to make you desperate. Your job is to, like, not become desperate. Become chill in the moment. And, I was doing a session with a guy earlier who trained at a different gym. And I even said all this to him, like, don't become desperate, man. Like, if you become desperate and you see a bit of cash on the fucking table, you pull your guns out instantly. Like, fucking no cash here, friend. Like, it's all Monopoly money. Like, and I'm going to send you over the top. And he did. He fucking Started rolling with him. Fucking sees my neck for a second, jumps on my neck, and I'm like, dude, like, over you go. Now I'm on top. I was like, I even warned you. See, change your habits. Anyway, you ready for some questions? It's like a phone in. I was explaining this to my dad earlier. Because I was,
Yes.
which, if you ever want to like realize that something sounds stupid, just tell your dad or something similar. Like, just tell a parent, an adult. Like, I ain't an adult. Just say, oh yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm making a podcast. Are you making a podcast? Yeah. It's like a phone in as well because people like give us questions. It's like a really little sad radio show. Yes. So, concepts on hand fighting. Do you want to start, sir?
Got this
my
nice
guest.
message that I need to share by someone from Scotland. One session
Oh,
of grip
dear.
fighting.
We seem to have lost him.
Oh, I think I went off. Welcome
Knack,
back.
if you can hear me,
Hello.
someone's internet connection has failed, and I can't hear you. That's frustrating. Has he returned?
Yeah. I think something happened, and then I just thought I'll leave and come back. Is it working now?
Yeah, it's cool. We're good. We're back.
Is it? You reckon it's the same file or same connection?
Yeah, it should be. I don't know
Cool.
what the fuck happened, but it'll...
So I was saying,
Yes.
I've got this nice message to share from someone from Scotland who said basically he had one session of grip fighting is the main thing that changes jiu-jitsu fighting. And I was like, well, that's interesting.
What did you tell him? What secrets?
Secrets. So, I mean, I just went through the basic things how I play where I'm always looking for 2-on-1s. I'm always looking to climb the joints, always pulling the shoulder socket, the arm out the shoulder, and constantly just going ahead, arms, hunting the legs, always just constantly looking for grips and advancing. That's what I said to him, and I showed him a few things, and he's like, "Oh, he's changed my game." I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's the first layer of defense."
Well, so again, some stuff we've been playing recently, because there's grip fighting all over the place, not just some stand up.
Oh my god!
First one, and it seems topical and weird to kind of say it this way, but the Ukraine-Russian war. Weird place to start. Maybe I've spent 2 hours around Ryan Hall, and now I've taken weird analogies. But
I want to see where this is going. I've heard it.
I know you have, but I'm interested to see what other people think of this. At no point, if I'm in battle with someone, do I want someone to break my front lines and circle behind me. So if you're in front of me, I don't want you to break my front line and put your arms behind me. If you're behind me, I don't want you to come round the front, because that's where everything goes wrong. You think if you're looking at passing someone's guard and they get a hand behind your head, behind your arm, in your armpit, a toe behind your knee, they've encircled you. And that's why, again, I don't really care if someone goes behind me. It only becomes a problem when things come back in front of me again. If I can stop those things or make it so they're kind of worthless, then who gives a shit if you have my back? So I like that way of then looking at hand fighting is I am essentially trying to break through your front line and encircle you in a way. Sometimes, you have to kind of give a bit to get a bit. But if you're both encircling each other, it's a gamble, and that's where power and skill is going to really come into it. And this is a goddamn sport. Like, if you're a bigger person, you're probably going to win. Again, Ryan said it in a really funny way, and it's kind of stuck. Is he said that imagine if you think of it in the point of view of leverage, where you got the fulcrum, and if I move, say my elbow, and I move towards my hand by about 2 inches, that's not as powerful as if I move all the way to my hand. So say if me and you have a power level of 4, let's pick random numbers, But if we go all the way to the end of the lever, that's a multiplier of 4. We have power level 16. But then we come across some fucker who is already power level 10. They go all the way to the end of the lever. They've now got power level 40. They're definitely going to win. And it's, they could do it even partially wrong. Like only go 1 or 2 inches up the arm to multiplier of 2. And still be fucking more powerful than us. We can't avoid those things. It's a sport. And so that's the only time where you really win of denying someone else's power, is you need to deny them any ability to create power that yours can kind of overwrite it. And so, there's tactics of putting someone's spine out of alignment, which you kind of do anyway, like you're talking about rotation points on the spine, but also connection to the floor. In the, if again, using physics, if we were in space and I pushed against you, I'm going to go away as much as you go away. Every force has an equal and opposite reaction, which same as like if I'm pushing a car. If I'm pushing a car and my feet can dig into the ground, I'm going to push that fucking car. But it's really dependent on the rubber on my feet and the stability of the ground. If I'm on mud or ice, fucking car's going nowhere. And it's the exact same. If your feet aren't making connections to the ground, like if you ever need any reason to think about how you should like position yourself, like attacking someone, be on your knees or on your toes, that should say it all. How many cars can you push on your fucking knees? Like, you really limit your power at this point, and you're trying to maximize it. And so, like hand fighting, like you could definitely try and beat someone's power, but if they're more powerful than you, then you're fucked. And so, deny them going behind you in any way. That's when you start to go wrong. 2-on-1, yeah. Assume they're stronger. Your 2 hands probably stronger than one of theirs. Stay on the inside. Like you think from a tie perspective, whoever's got the inside track, like the grip around the head, probably going to win. That's why you pummel on the inside, or parry and go around the back of the arm, like an arm drag or a Russian tie. If I can get behind your arms, your arms are worthless. They ain't attacking me. So that's kind of all I ever look at when I'm looking at hand fighting, is I either want to be on your inside 2-on-1, or I want to try and get around your outside. And I want to give up as little. I want you to do. I do not want you to. If I can perfectly, I don't want you to break my front line, and I want to break your front line. If you start breaking my front line, I deal with that problem. I don't gamble. Agree?
Yeah, agree.
The other point you made was about balance. I like this as well. Just stuff like, again, brilliant to listen to, of this idea of balance, of if you are in balance, you haven't got a problem. It's when you're out of balance, things go fucking wrong. And again, it's amazing how much when you're desperate, you'll throw yourself out of balance. Which, it's if you want to be able to defend stuff and you keep losing your balance, that's a problem. So work on staying on top, work on keeping your balance. And it's one of those things that you hear that, like, when people are fighting a black belt, it's like, so you're so heavy, I just can't move you. Yeah, because I'm in fucking balance. How do you think you learn that? You can't, unfortunately, learn that as a technique. Spend time doing it.
No. Experience.
And the analogy he gave was like footballers. Like if you imagine a Premier League footballer running down a field, they'll be able to weave in and out whilst keeping their base balance above their base. And their goal is to go take the ball around you, is to try and throw your base away from your balance and fuck you up and make you go one way while your legs go the other way. And so you have to drill that. You have to do cone drills, passing drills, sprinting drills, etc. It's not just like, oh, here's a new technique, it's going to solve all your problems. The jiu-jitsu way. And so, people want this kind of like, oh, how do you get really good at balance? Keep fucking doing it. Like, get the fuck on top while people try and unbalance you. It's going to take time. Instead of just thinking, oh, I need a new technique.
Exactly.
No.
There isn't.
Which is the jiu-jitsu method. It's like, I don't want...
If you're good on your jiu-jitsu, there's no shortcuts.
And I say it's easy to kind of like go, well, what should I be focusing on then? Those basics. Stay the fuck on top. keep your balance. Become unbreakably strong, balanced. And I think I said to Ryan at the time, like, God is a fucking parasite in that if you think it's okay to go to your back, a little bit of adversity to your balance, I fall over. And you're not working on it. No, like, it's going to take you fucking effort to just stay balanced and on top. And that's what makes you good. Like, I'm sorry, it's a long fucking road, and it's going to take grind. It's going to mean your drills are going to be focusing on that. It's going to mean your rolls have to focus, your sparring has to focus on that, and it'll carry to your competition. There's no fucking new technique every week. Sorry. It's one of those. Focus on your balance, and come back to me in 3 months' time and tell me if it's made any improvement to jiu-jitsu. And that actually goes into the next question. Important principles and concepts of loose passing.
Ooh.
I think everything we just said. Don't let people past your front lines. Stay fucking balanced. Do it a load of times. And
angles, fakes.
Again, if you actually work the drills like we've been kind of doing recently, of don't let people break your front line. It's amazing.
You're forced to be creative. You're forced to.
People will give you the angle because you're making them desperate.
Yeah.
You're making them hunt. Yeah. You're making them rob liquor stores, and it just becomes easy. You just have to get ahead of their knees. And it sounds dumb. Like, that's all it is. Like, deny the front line, stay balanced. If you can't have the agility drills, and work that at the same idea, and again, ignore guard. Don't flop to your back because you're exactly. Yeah, and it's not what people want to hear. Again, I was sitting there listening to the seminar, bashing my head against the fucking wall, just like, yeah, I know. And again, it was funny hearing him say, the only reason you're playing guard is because you don't know how to hide your back. I can't take you back if your back's on the floor, but if you knew you could hide your back, you could get up. I was like, yes, I know. So all in all, this is a great advert for a Ryan Hall seminar. He sold it as like, we're doing 50-50. He did nothing from 50-50. I was like, it's just his ideas on denying people, applying all these concepts. Oh, man, great. Worth the money. Book him. Anything to add to that? There's also a question on passing from chest to chest in half guard. Your thoughts on that? I think I have my own thoughts, but I'd like to hear yours.
I always look to flatten in half guard, especially when I get chest to chest, and I always try and make the face the other way because I don't want him to bridge into me. And then, I mean, I sometimes want to like do the wrist leg box with that as well. I've got that part as well in my game. But I like to just hold and cook. If I get chest to chest, I'm cooking.
Sorry, I'm back. I realised there was a noise in the background. I had to kill it. Yeah, and I think part of that as well is translating it. You cook them and you say there about chest to chest is you want to make them look the other way. What happens? You're taking their spine out of alignment. You're limiting their power. Which again, I think it's hard to. I think it's worthless to explaining techniques because every roll is chaos. But applying the principles of take their spine out of alignment works.
Slow them down. Once they're slow, then everything will start making
they can't
easy for
generate
you.
power if their spine's all fucked. And that's their hips, their shoulders, or their head is the rotation points. Manipulate those and stay balanced. Create a stable base to work from that they can't then send you over. Don't overcommit. Keep your. Imagine you're a camera on a camera tripod. If you're leaning over one side of the tripod, fucking camera's going to fall over and smash. So find the best balance that allows you to keep this whilst twisting them up because then they've got no strength. Ta-da! I know, right?
That was easy.
And that goes on to pinning. Um, don't pin. If you can twist them up, absolutely twist them up. Why not? Fuck them up. Twist them. Get in their armpits. Get in their armpits.
Yeah.
Control the spine. Twist them up.
I think pinning's good, but the thing is, it's not wrestling, is it? Because we look for submissions, and it's it's a more of a fluid kind of style than wrestling, especially on the floor, because once they hit the back, the match ends, whereas we have to take submissions into account. So a pin isn't always going to give us that opportunity. We have to catch submissions in the flow or catch positions in the flow
Yeah.
sometimes as well. Because they're sometimes the most vulnerable when they open. If they're flat, sometimes they can hide the spaces and it becomes
Yeah.
a battle to open. But if you can make the move and catch them in the move, I think that's what really separates us from wrestling. That part, which a lot of people overemphasize. I think in jiu-jitsu that you have to pin people.
Yeah. I think it's a smarter idea to like just be the fucker on top. I don't give a shit if you rotate. I just want to remain on top. It maximizes my power and my weight. So I don't mind kind of like if I can't pin someone, I'll just allow them to rotate underneath me. If I could, like I say, like taking those same things earlier, generate power. Like you have to maximize your power by you creating good connections into the ground that you can drive off. You have to be able to twist up their spine. If they twist up the spine, you limit their ability to generate force. And if you start to lose all that, just stay on top. Just remain on top. Like block them into the ground and ride them, keeping above their legs. That's it. And if you do end up feeling in a disadvantaged position like guard, don't let them break your front lines. Rinse and repeat, and just keep that pressure on. It's hard fucking work. Since we started doing this, like, oh my god, the cardio. I'm having to train so hard just to like keep up and offer the best version of myself to everyone. Using my Fitbit thing, it's saying my resting heart rate's been dropping. Just on average, it's just dropped now. I'm like, fucking, I have got fitter. Fucking hell! I thought that my days for being fit and doing jiu-jitsu well were over. But apparently, and if you haven't got the cardio for it, you know what? Go to the fucking gym. Sorry, it's a sport, and you can't. Again, like as people have said, it's been over marketed to think that a smaller person can beat a bigger person, even if you are unfit. No, sorry. And if you are a smaller person,
you need all the tools
again, like in the gym, it's the league table thing again. Like, there's always an adult. There's always going to be a disparity. There's going to be an adult and a child in every role, and if the adult doesn't treat the child right, then you are kicking the ball over their head and just fucking them around. Like, they're not giving them you're not working with them to make them better. And it's the league table belt problem back again of, because there's no way, because again, small people, I assume, listen to this. They are out there, with their tiny hands, and you hear a lot like, what am I supposed to do against someone who's giant in the gym? I don't know. Shouldn't be that question, because why are you competing against them? If this was a competition, you'd never meet that person. In the gym, bigger person.
Maybe
again,
in
like,
absolute.
But in the absolute, a bigger person should win. It's only rare that a smaller person does, and it's like through sheer fucking happenstance. It doesn't overpower him. It's just a fucking freak things that happen in these absolutes. But bigger people who can create more power gonna fucking win. And in the gym, that's the only time you ever hear these problems of like, oh yeah, there's this big person in the gym and like they flatten me and I can't get in my game going. It's like, well, they're a cunt. Like, I'm sorry, like they're a mid-30s person, and you're a child, and they keep kicking the ball over your head. They're a cunt. Can't really explain it a different way. Like, sorry, like you train with a cunt. They need to do. You need to stop looking at the fucking league table and think that this mystical martial art is gonna put you above them. That you can outskill them. Sorry, doesn't work that way. It's a fucking sport. And accept that. And it's hard. It's hard as shit to accept that because it kind of goes against all the lies you've been told. Shit, man. It's frustrating as hell to think that we have to now fix all these problems.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Good
not
job.
for other people. Hey.
Can't say it, baby.
Well, it's frustrating for other people because like it goes against what they want to hear. Like, oh no, but I thought this martial art I could be the small person and beat the big person. No, otherwise it just put you in open weight divisions all the time in competition. If that was the case, that's why we have weight divisions. And the only reason it fucking hurts in the gym is because you're training with arseholes who can't factor in the fact that you are a small person. They look at the league table and think, "Fuck them. I'm just gonna smash them. Fuck them." And is that a team? No. How's that anyway a team? And it's up to the coach to go, no, that's not okay. Like we need to create that culture of when there is a disparity in skill or size, one person's an adult, one person's a child, build the child up so they can do the right thing by them, strategically.
100%.
Yeah, it makes the whole team better then. But that can't be, and it's frustrating as well because you might hear this and think, yeah, I want to train like that. It's not even fucking up to you. Like the coach has to create that environment. And if the coach doesn't step in and create those environments, then we have. I'm sorry, there's not a magic bullet. I can't give you a magic technique like, oh, how am I going to pin a bigger person who keeps throwing me around? Fucking can't. Sorry. You can try your best, like I talked about earlier, with leverage and maximizing and try and minimize what they have, but they can do things partially wrong and they're still probably going to overpower you. Last question. Fucking with the breathing of someone else. I know you can physically do it, but I have other ideas.
Yeah. Look at him.
Yeah, out-cardioing them. It's the best way of fucking with someone's breathing. Get them fucking tired. Control the pace.
100%.
Like, if you've got cardio for days and they haven't, and then you smother them a little bit and make them claustrophobic, be on top of them, which...
Yeah. There's a saying in there, what
cowards of us all.
Cardio makes us cowards something.
Cardio makes cowards of us all.
Like that. Yeah, cowards of us all. And it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
The cardio,
again, it goes against the jiu-jitsu notion that you should be able to deal with these things. Sorry, it can't. Yeah,
Roll
it's
more,
a sport.
go in the gym,
and it's treated. Everything we do around it is being a sport. We separate by gender, we separate by age, we separate by weight. And it's because it's a sport. Like, and it's the same with any other sport. Like Messi, as good as he is, he's going to get old and he's going to get done by younger lads at some point. Can't avoid it. Yeah, like Djokovic.
Science.
Didn't he just lose at Wimbledon? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
by someone in their early 20s, like 20-year-old or something. Like, exactly. Like, it's because it's a fucking sport. Like, he's not going to remain immortal forever and be the best in the world. He's going to get done eventually when he gets older and someone younger comes on the scene. It's frustrating as hell because we want to be taken seriously as a combat sport, yet we still keep going down the martial art route. it's
I don't get these gyms that roll only for like half an hour in a class. Like only 4 or 5 5 minute rounds. It's like, what the hell are you doing, man? All these people like give me some like rolling more.
I think
Hashtag more rolls.
thing is playing a bit of devil's advocate. I think I mentioned it before about Chael Sonnen talking about GSP. I think he had a UFC fight, and he found that GSP was like doing a workout, something like downstairs or something. So he was, oh shit, I want to go train with GSP. And like GSP just did like, was it 5 or 3 5 minute rounds, and that was it.
5 minutes.
But those 5 minute rounds, he went fucking balls to the wall. And so I think it's kind of up to you how you treat your sparring. Again, like, I think it has to be. I don't mean non-competitive, but it has to be. If you're against someone of a similar, all those kind of gender, age, ability, size, etc., then sure, like, go balls to the wall, like me and you do. We went absolutely ham on each other, and that but it wasn't like we were trying to just smash each other up for the sake of it. Like, it's a good exchange. But if I'm not then going to go exactly how I go against you, against like a white belt, is because no, but I'm going to still do the right. I'm going to do the same shit that I did to you, but I'm going to turn the intensity down.
Yeah.
I'm going to, but I'm not just suddenly go, oh, they're a white belt. I'll just pull guard and play guard against them and let them pass. No, because it gives them a false sense of how good they are. I don't just kick the ball away for no fucking reason. Just change your intensity. It's not hard if you've got some level of autonomy over your own mind and body. Yeah, I think that was a good little list of questions. I always enjoy reading them off the Discord channel, and I think it's a weird way of doing this communication between us. Like, we don't write, we just answer via this. They listen and go, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And then they send more in. Any other thoughts from you, sir?
No, I think we covered the questions quite well.
I just meant in jiu-jitsu in general. Jiu-jitsu news or sporting news or...
Ooh. To be fair, if I'm really honest, I don't really follow much jiu-jitsu news because I don't know. It's only like if I see something, I'll see something scrolling on Instagram, and I'm not doing much of that at the moment as well.
I think that.
But yeah, detox.
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck down those rabbit holes. Again, it was really good chatting to Josh. I think he might be the busiest person in jiu-jitsu. He can't help himself. He just keeps adding to his workload. He runs the Icicle JiuJitsu show. Fantastic podcast. It's like over 200 episodes in now. We're gonna catch him up. We're already 20 plus. I think we started again at like 6 or 7. So we've put down quite a few episodes in the short amount of time. Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Now. Consistency. Like, if we're weird creatures of habit, and if there's an episode coming out every Thursday, there has to be an episode every Thursday. Otherwise, you throw people off and you lose interest. And we're kind of laughing, like, obviously we both know Preet, the guy who was there for our black belts. He's the grumpy Estonian, very introverted fella. Posts a fucking Instagram story every hour. He is a Instagram influencer in that way, and it's hilarious. But again, he keeps in the conversation, and that's one of the things that we're kind of talking about is that as much as an awful thing that it is, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Twitter, it's the way the world works, and you've got to manipulate that, and you have to keep in the conversation somehow. And as much as it hurts, like, I think the first post I put on my Threads was the greatest trick the devil ever made was not convincing the world that it didn't exist. It was trying to convince introverts to have to post all the fucking time on social media. Like, terrible move, Satan. And yeah, it's awful. So now, I enjoy making content. I enjoy talking to fantastic people. I've learned so much doing it. But yeah, all that social media side, like just posting and having to be on there and kind of keeping the zeitgeist. Yeah, it rots you, man. I don't know how we can make time for everything. You have to set those barriers. But it helps having such a cool studio. Have you seen like all this jazz?
Yeah, I'm loving them consoles.
And like the mic setup, I've got the ring light again. Thank you for. I remember trying to like learn. Again, as much as I decry their very existence, all those kind of Instagram, YouTube people, like listen to what they've got to say sometimes. Like how they do these things. I remember when we first started making videos. I can't remember if you were there or not.
Yeah.
But trying to deliver to camera if you've never delivered to camera is fucking tricky. And you come across really wooden and weird. And you've watched those early YouTube videos on our channel, which are, again, like 4 years old now. That's bonkers. Anyone who watches those videos, we're really, really wrong. Yeah. Like, ignore pretty much everything we said on them. It's like very out of date. It's like watching a white belt roll and then going, well, you don't roll like that now. Yeah, because I'm a purple belt now. I don't roll like I was a white belt. Like, why would I?
Some of them technique ones are good though.
Some,
did quite a few technique ones, didn't we?
Still, you have to we'd have to go through everything again. I think we have to just make a big list one day and go, right, take two. Yeah, take two. Ignore that. We'll just put links up to all the new ones, which should be okay. It's frustrating as well because like the how to defend everything video, the one that started it all, 4 years old, 80,000 views. Wrong as fuck.
Views.
like, it's out of date. Like, again, people are like, oh yeah, you mean you changed it? Yeah, because that's like watching me roll as a white belt and then go, well, you don't roll like that now. Yeah, I'm a purple belt. It's been 4 years. Same with my coaching. That was me 4 years ago. I'm better now. Some stuff may have stayed the same,
evolved,
but understanding changes, which is a good thing. If I didn't, then that's a huge failure on my part. I didn't hit perfection. No one has. But yeah, so go back to these like YouTubey people delivering to camera. Like when you just see like, if I look at this webcam now, it's just a fucking circle, a black circle. You know, I think that's where the Black Mirror, the series. I'm pretty sure that's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
No, as in when you turn your phone off, it's just a black mirror.
Maybe.
I'm like, dark. It's a little black circle. Yeah. And talking to a little black circle feels weird. But when you have people, when you imagine them on the other side, so I used to put pictures of people underneath the camera. So I'd be talking to people, those initial videos, like, and that makes it a bit more natural.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
Now there's kind of people who listen to this, like, and with yourself as well. It feels like we're talking to people. Especially the Discord, because we're answering their questions like, hey, Dan, just having that conversation, which feels way more natural. But same with the videos, like, hey, people who follow us, here's some content for you. So that's all I thought was a bit of good advice. The other one was like, when you're making an Instagram channel, I bought books on this of like Instagram influencers, like rots me on the inside to think that I did it. But they talk about how, when you're a teenager, you buy so many different types of clothes. Your wardrobe looks fucking mental. And then by the time you're hitting your 20s and 30s, you start to get a style.
Yeah.
Like, maybe some adjustments somewhere, like depending on what you're doing. But there's a style to your wardrobe. And it looks like, all right, this is a normal person. Your Instagram's the same. Like, if you just keep flitting between things, like, I'm this person today. Like, you're weird then. And it's like all over the place. Like, no, find a style, stick to it. Like, settle in. Stop just changing up all the fucking time. Stop being a teenager. It's like, that's fair. I like that. Continuity. and consistency. Yeah, and something like this again. Like I thought, well, if I'm going to be on camera and talking into a microphone as a weird little job, make it interesting. And I'm a gaming nerd. Which funny that you're the one with the gaming headset on though. What are you playing currently?
At the moment, mate, I'm so busy right now. I'm gone from playing nearly every day to literally not touching it unless I'm ill. So I touch it like twice a year at the moment.
Yeah, I find that I go through periods where I'm like, I play fuck tons, and then I go for like a month or two and I don't touch it.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Sad.
What's your jam?
I used to play. I was born with GTA, FIFA kind of guy. So I just play FIFA, GTA, that kind of thing. Yeah. Call of Duty. I can play with Call of Duty.
I'm very much in like the gaming sphere. Like if I'm not doing jiu-jitsu, which I can't think about jiu-jitsu all day every day, it's going to drive me insane. Like if people say, "Oh, have you watched this fight over the weekend?" Like, no. Yeah. Sorry, I can't. I'm listening to gaming podcasts, and I remember when I first turned on the camera. It's the first episode that we've done since I set all this kind of like new recording area up. You're like, oh my god! Like, if people listen on Spotify, you don't know what the fuck's behind me. Mm-hmm. But it's like an original Nintendo, an N64, a GameCube, the original Game Boy, a PlayStation 1, the big one. And you're like, oh, you buy all those? And I'm like, no, man, that's like my entire childhood right there. Like, and it all works. Like, there's an original Super Mario Brothers right, like in the actual. If I fucking pop up that little what's the name there, there's a Super Mario Brothers right inside, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I thought it's an interesting little. Put some lighting in. It's an interesting little focal point behind me. Takes the interest from my face. I just don't look at me. Look at all the cool shit. And when we're setting up, you're like, "Oh, that looks awesome."
Giraffe.
I'm gonna put a giraffe up behind me. I'm like, one of these is painful, but I don't know which one though. One of us looks like a painful fool. But I think jiu-jitsu attracts a certain type of person, and it's attracting more and more nerdy people. So I thought it wouldn't be too weird. I wouldn't, put pre your jiu-jitsu beginnings. Like I used to go to those old jiu-jitsu competitions in like sports halls. Maybe it's just a northern UK thing, but it looked like an English Defence League meeting. It looked like a BNP gathering. There's just skinheads everywhere. I'm like,
yeah.
Start throwing salutes and like.
No, I am thinking of setting a little area where I have a decent background or something.
Get some like OG like old posters like we'll in our gym that we train out of the OG Fighting Fit. There's a poster of Holyfield versus Tyson. I think that poster might have been there since that fight. Like imagine the color of the wall behind that poster. It's probably like not the color of the gym. That hasn't been painted. It's just the gym's warped over time. Like you need to get some of those OG posters, like the ones that you like, those fights that kind of meant something to you, or not. Just go for a gaming setup the same as I did. I'm considering getting like some Pokemon stuff as well.
We'll see.
Just putting random shit up behind me every week. Nice. Like random shit of the week kind of things to see if anyone notices. Now I've said it there, so it can't ruin the surprise. I can't edit that out because I can't be asked to edit. Always very interesting. I hope this has been a interesting podcast. Please, I know we talk about jiu-jitsu a lot, and it is the purpose of this podcast. And if you're still listening to this after we kind of went on this weird tangent, thank you. But if these weird tangents are okay, if you don't mind listening to us ramble on about random shit, because there's other things outside of jiu-jitsu, apparently. Don't ask the Meow Brothers, they're unaware of this thing. When we asked, like, what do you do outside jiu-jitsu? They was like, huh? Like, there isn't. yeah, if you don't mind us rambling on about random stuff, please leave comments and say, yeah, it's cool by us. Like, you guys just go on. If people are listening to this on like their drives and stuff like that, or just sitting in an office, just listening to just two people ramble on, and just it's calming to you. Like, was it ASMR or something? Like, just calming music right now. Just ambient sounds. Listening to some terrible accents. Please let us know. Otherwise, we'll stick to just jiu-jitsu. And yes, please leave us questions. I'm always interested in reading like what people are doing. Reading what issues you have in your jiu-jitsu, and if we offer any benefit to it. I said I'm away.
Yeah.
From the 28th, but there will be episodes during that time with guests. Which means I better find some fucking guests in the next week then. Otherwise, that whole thing about consistency out the fucking window. Anyway, it's been a fun hour podcast. It's also we're trying to find the right time to do these, like as in the amount of length. I think 55 minutes is good length. And hopefully the break in the podcast didn't completely fuck everything up. This has been Reap the Week. Knack, it's been a pleasure. I hope you're not too sore from your kickboxing earlier. Dude, I am. I didn't kickbox with you, but yeah, MMA earlier, I'm hurt. Like I'd take painkillers for this podcast. Anyway, it's going to be tangents all over the place. This has been Reap the Week. Thank you for listening in. If you want to support us, like I say, it's on Patreon. There's all new episodes of How to Defend Everything, what comes out of my little head. If you want to send us questions, go on the Discord channel. If you don't know where the link for that is, go on the YouTube video for this and a podcast. It's in the description. Hop on. Send us questions, or just send us them in general. Maybe I read them sometimes. I do. I actually sat down the other day and replied to a bunch of people. So if you want to send us questions, Naki's also available. He may reply better than I do. We'll see. Competition time. Maybe we can do that one day. We'll do a competition, and I don't know what we can give to people. Like, so we'll figure something fun. This has been Reap the Week. Naki?
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. See you soon, dude.
It was a pleasure.